Hey Pedro, Daphne here. Thank you for your kind words. Glad you're enjoying the course. Let's have a look at your writing. So you very much said, how are you getting on? And there are some structural things in this essay which I'm a little bit worried about. I would really like to see 4 paragraphs. Okay, 4 paragraphs is much clearer. This is what Ben talks about on the course, and it just makes it much easier for your examiner to see where you're going, especially in a question like this, where what are the reasons? That's one section, obviously, and is it a positive or negative development? So that's another section. So for me, you don't need 5. Let's have a look at this. These days, more fathers stay at home and take care of their children while mothers go to work. What are the reasons? So when you do your planning, really make sure you are planning carefully every single essay. So reasons. So better qualification, more equality, all sorts of things you might want to talk about here. And then on this one, good or bad. So what are the reasons? So you need to be able to discuss that as well. So that is my planning. You've got it here. Equality, similar work. Yep. And positive or negative. Really good. Probably wouldn't go into that. I mean, you could, but I think it'll be a little bit awkward maybe in the essay. But conclusion positive. Exactly. So you've done that just in a different way. But well done. So these days more okay. During the last 20 years, there's been important improvements in women's rights, good, leading to more symmetric distribution in labour and even home tasks. Ah, nice, symmetrical, good word. In labour, so I would say in working life and opportunities. Labour is a little bit confusing because it might just mean work. We're really talking about careers as well here, and even home tasks. Now, even home tasks, sorry. I wanted to join this together. Nowadays, okay, many children are cared for by fathers as well as mothers, allowing women to earn more and follow a career. So I think you need to be developing this a little bit more on that intro. I strongly believe this is a positive achievement. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So just develop that a bit more and develop this a bit more. Take the sentence here, push the sentence a bit more to get a bit more information there. So now you're going to look at the reasons. So equality and sexual rights have changed the way men and women look after their jobs and even their house obligations, especially when their descendants are young. I wouldn't say look after their jobs. I would say pursue a career, follow a career, progress in a career, and even their house obligations, especially when the descendants are young. Yeah, I wouldn't use the word descendants. Descendants is more like a grandparent and a grandchild. So really the very old to the very young. I would say offspring are young. There is a fairer. So you need to tell me more reasons. So greater access to higher education, more acceptance in the workplace, and better qualifications have allowed many women to access a fairer distribution of jobs. So for me, I don't think you've developed this enough. This is what's going to get you to the band 7, Pedro. So yes, you're writing much better, but you need to give me more, and you need to give me more detail like this. So this paragraph needs to be just bigger and with more information. So these are some of the reasons. So this one has to be, you've talked about equality, but give me more as well. So for example, recent report showing that after Newborn's 3 months old parental. Okay, that example connects nicely to the way children look after their, yes, because you've connected that the parents are around at home, therefore they can look after the children. But when you've talked about a fairer distribution of jobs, this is a really great point to make. So develop that. So I think the example would be better almost to do with this. So you could say something like, for example, don't worry necessarily about a survey, yeah? But you can do in many countries, women are now able to work in the military, in police, and as university lecturers, which was not previously welcomed. Something like that. So I think that works as an example, maybe more connected to actual work. I think that might be better. Yeah. But make sure your example really connects to the point you're making. You haven't really talked about looking after babies. You talked about jobs and house duties. So be really careful on that example that it links up to what you've just been saying. There are many advantages to this new setting. Okay, setting, yeah, or trend, or development, something like that. Firstly, men and women share in similar ways. Okay, sharing parental duties, maybe, could leave behind the tradition of a working father or a breeding mother. Yeah, we wouldn't say breeding mother, we say stay at home mother. Secondly, women are able to continue working, thus avoiding the unfair price the demanding world puts on long maternal leave. Very good point. So finally, so here you give me 3 points. They're all good points, but you're not developing them. So choose 2 points and develop. 2 plus develop. This is really, really important. Use little phrases like, this is because, this means that, because of this. Develop it. That's what's going to score you a good mark in task achievement and coherence. Giving me 3 things and not developing them is not going to get you the score you want. However, there's ample evidence that excessive absence of the mother could have some negative implications. Yes, good point. I mean, to be really honest, I wouldn't bring that into an IELTS essay. You're not wrong necessarily, but I don't think that's necessarily the most relevant point. You've got a lot of things in here, and I think it's better to develop this first. You said you think it's positive. Yes, you can have a little bit to say it's negative, or you do it this way. Check out the module on although there may be drawbacks to this new trend in that children may miss out on, or young children may miss out on a mother's care. I'm very careful what I say here. It's that very young children. There are many advantages. So if you're going to do a disadvantage, so the however section, this, for me, put it here. More logical to put it there at the beginning of that paragraph and then carry on to your advantages. That makes more sense. And that should just be 1 paragraph. In conclusion, equality has changed, ED, the traditional ways. Children are getting care. Children are getting increasing the proportion of working mothers and breeding fathers. You can't have breeding fathers. That means they are having babies, which they're not. And stay-at-home fathers, or fathers working from home, or fathers at home. Positive progress for women who desire to keep working and men who want a stronger relationship. Yeah, I don't think you need that. Okay. So Pedro, you've got some good writing here. I think you need to work on the structure. I think work really carefully on getting the organisation absolutely right. So I love the planning here, but making sure the planning or the actual writing really connects back to the point you made in your topic sentence. Remember, this is the topic sentence, the most important sentence in that paragraph. Everything should relate back to that. So the paragraph structure, have a little look at that. Grammar mistakes, watch out for grammar mistakes, and also watch out for some vocab mistakes as well. So a little bit of work to do, but there's 2 more essays now as a bonus, and then most students carry on and do an extra pack because they really, really want to keep going and be as confident as they can. So I would strongly recommend that to you as well. Line graph, the crazy line graph. Now, it's very difficult to do 1, 2, 3 countries. You really have got to group and compare here. So what I want to bring out is very dry here, very wet in those countries during those 3 months. Here they're all wet. Here those 2 are very dry, and then that's wet. That sort of thing. The line graph shows monthly rainfall in 3 different parts. Yep. There was an oscillating pattern. Great. Rainfall levels. Whereas the former, registered the smallest amplitude with lower levels around 75. Yeah, the other showed a similar peak and valley levels just over. Okay. Peak and valley levels. It would be peak and trough. Good vocab though. Really nice. I like that. Peak and trough. Valleys. Yeah. July was the most rainy month for Wales. Okay, this is followed by. Yeah, now, I think you should do this another way. So I wouldn't do it like that, okay? Because what you've done is just list slightly. You've picked out stuff, but you haven't grouped. So group it together. So here, I would start off with, for example, why don't we start with this one? So in March, Scotland registered 130 mils of rain compared to, or maybe you could say, okay, registered 130 before levels fell in April, which was also a very dry month for Wales, whereas during that time, England registered a high amount. So I'm trying to link the information together. So rather than going country by country, try and do it group by group. So comment on this group, and then this section here, you could go during the summer months of June and July, all 3 countries registered high points of rain, ranging from 100 to, or 110 rather, to 140 mils. So it's really important to almost think about it doing it a different way. So grouping and comparing. So you've got was the most rainy month. This is followed by May. What was the driest month? Okay. Concerning Scotland, 4 peaks were identified. Yeah. But you could do this another way. You could say the peaks ranged between 110 and 130 in those months. While, link it together with a linking word, while the lowest values were recorded in February. Okay. And then I'd make a new paragraph for here. 4 sections I want. Regarding England, 5 top values recorded. Yeah, but I need to know, so you really need to do the grouping and comparing. I need to know what's happening in other countries during that time. So overall, okay, fluctuation patterns. You see, that's good. Registered a peak during July. Good, that works. Oscillating pattern, okay. So I think I want a little bit more detail in here, and I think I want more grouping. Let me try and find you an answer that will help you. Okay. But well done, Pedro. Keep on going.